Hello, my friends. I want to thank you for joining me for another moment to look into the Word of God together. I want to continue with the series titled The Perfect Picture of Jesus. We are now on part 6 of that particular discussion. So I want to go ahead and jump right into that. I would like to take a moment to discuss the Ark of the Covenant. That is the next thing that we are discussing. The Ark of the Covenant was placed in the central part of the tabernacle called the Holy of Holies. There are two major purposes for the Ark of the Covenant. First, it was a simple chest box where the Israelites would carry the 10 Commandments that were written on stone tablets. And we know in Exodus chapter 20, you can find the 10 Commandments that were given. I'll read them briefly. It says, "You shall have no other God before me," was the first commandment. The second one was, "You shall not make any idols to worship." The third, "You shall not take the Lord's name in vain." The fourth, "Remember and keep the Sabbath day holy." The fifth one, "Honor your father and mother." The sixth one, "You shall not kill." The seventh one, "You shall not commit adultery." Number 8, "You shall not steal." Number 9, "You shall not bear false witness." And number 10, "You shall not covet your neighbor's wife or your neighbor's goods," anything that was your neighbor's. So you can find those 10 commandments written in Exodus chapter 20. So we see here that was one of the major purposes of the Ark of the Covenant, was to actually be a simple chest box to put those commandments in that were written on stone tablets. Secondly, another major purpose was, we can find in Exodus 25 and 22. It lets us know that it is the place where God said that he would meet to speak with Moses and the Israelite priests. The Ark of the Covenant also held or contained Aaron's rod, or his staff in other words, that had budded, and a pot of manna. Exodus 16 and 33 said that Aaron should take a jar and put an omer fill of manna in it and place it before the Lord to be kept throughout generations. Now, these 3 items that were actually in the Ark of the Covenant were definitely important. The tablets represented, again, God's covenant that he made with Israel. Secondly, the manna was also a reminder of God's provision and faithfulness to his people. We can find in Exodus chapter 16 verses 31 and 32. Well, actually I want to read 31 first. It says, "Then Moses said, 'This is what the Lord commanded. Let an omer fill of it be kept throughout your generations, that they may see the bread that I fed you in the wilderness when I brought you out of the land of Egypt.'" And so the house of Israel, you can find in verse 31 of Exodus again, chapter 16, is that the house of Israel named it manna. It was like a coriander seed, which was white, and it tastes like a wafer with honey on it. So the Israelites themselves named this manna. Now, we can also see the other item that was placed inside of this particular box was Aaron's rod, or his staff. We can find in Numbers 17, what God did was he confirmed the priesthood that was appointed by himself. Number 17, we see the details of how the rods of the Israelite leaders were placed before the Lord, and only Aaron's rod, representing the tribe of Levi, budded and produced almonds, allowing them to see it was God's choice for choosing him and concerning the priesthood. So God himself actually settled the matter. He stopped the complaints against Israel, against Moses actually, and Aaron. So God put an end to the people questioning always about God's choosing the priests, and them always questioning Moses and Aaron's their authority when it came to the things that they were actually doing. So how does the Ark of the Covenant pertain to this perfect picture that I have titled of Jesus? Well, it represents his dual nature as fully God and fully man. His perfect fulfillment of God's law, and his role as the ultimate mercy seat for atonement, which we will discuss the mercy seat next time. That will be the last thing that we will focus on for this particular teaching. He fulfilled the law perfectly in his life. The tablets of stone, the 10 Commandments. He is also the high priest, symbolizing the eternal priesthood as God's chosen and anointed one. Listen, they didn't need, we know that every time one priest died out, or his term or was over, his priesthood was over, there always had to be another priest. Well, Jesus fulfilled that. He was actually the eternal priest. There needed not to be one that would need to come along after him, because he himself was the high priest, symbolizing the eternal priesthood as God's chosen and anointed one. He is the bread of life, providing spiritual nourishment for us as believers. This Ark of the Covenant, which is also called the Ark of the Testimony as well, was the dwelling place of God among the Israelites, a powerful symbol of his presence. Thank God, in the New Testament, we see Jesus as the embodiment of God's presence, enabling believers to be in his presence now and forever. Think about this as well. Remember, there was one door into the ark that allowed Noah and his family to be saved from the flood. There is only one door that can save you and I today from eternal judgment. That is Jesus Christ. He is that door. Again, he is the perfect picture. Join me next time as we wrap up this teaching discussing the mercy seat. May God bless you. May God keep you. May he always meet you exactly where you are. Listen, if you haven't had a chance to go back at the beginning of this teaching, make sure you go back to parts 1 through 5. Until next time, God bless.